In this video, we're going to look at how to give a performance review. If you're going to give a good performance review, you need to start with your preparation for that review. First of all, you need to gather your data. Collect feedback from as many sources as you can, not only your direct observation, but other observations by peers, perhaps formal 360 reviews, or perhaps written work or client satisfaction surveys. Work through that evidence to find specific examples for and evidence of their performance, both positive and areas for improvement. Select the most compelling, most direct evidence, but make sure you don't cherry pick a single point of evidence where there is a whole bunch of other evidence that contradicts it. Secondly, review the goals and objectives that might have been set at earlier performance reviews. Make sure you know what the terms and conditions and role descriptions for that individual are, so that you can set the review in the context of what their job is really all about. Understand how any prior goals and objectives fit with their performance, so you can assess their performance against those goals and objectives. Finally, set the agenda. Determine what are the most important topics that you need to discuss, but also the structure and framework for the conversation that will make sure that the other person has a chance to offer their input and to contribute what they think is important about their performance. There's a lot to say about delivering the review. However, let's start with the environment in which you do it and make sure that it is appropriate, it is private, and it is comfortable. Both of you have to feel comfortable that you can have the kind of conversation you need to have, which means no chance of being overheard or interrupted inappropriately. Think about the layout of the room as well. Make sure you set it up so that it is the right level of formality for the culture of your organisation, but not so informal that you might make the other person feel uncomfortable, and not so formal that they may not feel comfortable enough to speak their mind. It's often worthwhile making sure that there is an adequate supply of water, so that if your mouth or theirs dries up, you can rapidly grab the water. It often helps to start the review by building rapport, a little bit of small talk so that you both feel comfortable, and then set the agenda. Make sure that you are both comfortable that everything that each of you needs to talk about is on the agenda. And then I like to start the review with the positive. Outline what I think we need to celebrate in the other person's performance. What are their strengths and accomplishments? If we focus on these first, it sets a positive mood for the review and also builds their confidence. Next, discuss the areas for improvement. Offer developmental feedback, specific areas where performance can improve with actionable ideas. It's important to be as specific as possible, and it's important to make your suggestions actionable so that the other person can actually make a difference to their performance. Where appropriate, set objectives so that you can measure the changes at the next performance review, whether that's an informal review on maybe a monthly cycle or a formal performance review at the end of a year or a half year or a quarter. Keep your language clear and direct. If you dance around an issue, then they may not understand it properly, and then you won't get the results you want. If you are not prepared to be clear and direct, that suggests that you don't have a good handle on a strong evidence base to justify what you're saying, in which case you didn't do your preparation properly. That said, be balanced and, crucially, be fair. Determine the appropriate balance between positive reinforcing feedback and critical feedback about changes that need to be made. If someone's performance overall is very good, then you may not even want to mention some of the small things that they know are an issue, but aren't really holding them back. Focus on how they can build on their strengths. But whatever you say, make sure it is fair because one of the biggest levers for our emotional response to work and our motivation is a sense of fairness. If we do not feel we are being treated fairly, then we are very quickly demotivated. Critically, a performance review is not a one-way thing, so encourage dialogue. Encourage the other person to put forth their ideas for where they are performing well, where they need to improve, and the objectives that they want to set themselves. Encourage them to discuss and reflect upon the feedback that you're giving them, and listen carefully to their point of view. Yes, you may think you've observed something, but it may be that actually you didn't observe what you thought. So be prepared to be persuaded before you finally make up your mind about any scoring or performance evaluation that you give as a result of the review. As you move towards the end of the review, it's time to collaborate on setting some goals for the next period. I like to start by asking for suggestions, although I will, of course, in my preparation, have thought about the kinds of goals I would like to see as well. The SMART framework is familiar to many people and can be very helpful. That is, frame your goals as being specific and measurable goals. Measurable goals which have metrics against them. And by the way, if you ask the other person to suggest goals, often they will be more ambitious in those measures than you would have been. Make sure that those goals are achievable, although perhaps audacious, and certainly actionable, and also relevant. Relevant to the organisation, relevant to the work that they're doing and their role, and relevant to them and their professional development. And finally, set time bounds, deadlines for achieving specific goals. Finally, make sure you both agree on the goals and have documented them. At some point, you want to share that document so that there is no misunderstanding and no ambiguity about the goals they have set themselves and that you, on behalf of the organisation, have set them. As a result of those goals, identify training and development needs and discuss what the individual needs to do to develop their skills, to develop their experience base so that they can meet their goals and prepare for the next stage in their career. Clearly, you may or may not be able to deliver on all their training ambitions, so be realistic about that. Let them know if something isn't going to be possible, and then work with them to find alternatives which can get them as close to where they want to be and where they need to be as possible. From all of this, work together to create a follow-up plan, the things that they're going to do and the things that you are going to do to support them. And finally, end the session by expressing your support for them and their professional development. Reviews can be emotional, so be empathetic. Recognise and understand the emotions that can come out and be respectful of those emotions. Give them time to play out. Throughout, stay calm and stay supportive. Remember, you don't necessarily have to support the actions that they have taken and the choices they've made in the past. Your job is to support them as an individual and as a professional member of your team. And finally, as part of this being supportive, it's important to continually recognise, acknowledge and support their positive contributions. Make sure they feel valued and boost their confidence. After the review, you need to follow up. Follow up with regular monitoring and regular conversations that will support them, guide them, and again, congratulate them on progress that they're making. But also, if you have agreed follow-up actions that you're going to do to support them, make sure you carry those out, and not least, making sure you arrange any training or work experience or learning so that they can develop properly. Schedule frequent informal reviews where you can talk to them and listen to their perceptions. And finally, use your learning from those informal reviews to adapt and evolve your leadership style and the level of support and guidance you give them. As you discover that they are mastering things, draw back on the level of instruction you give. Where their morale is high, draw back on the level of support you give. But if they go through a dip because they're struggling with something, then support and, if necessary, guide them. Performance reviews are often seen as adversarial and administrative. They should be neither. They should be a way of supporting an individual for the benefit of their development and your team and of the organisation. Please do give this video a like if you've enjoyed it or learned from it. I'll be making loads more great management courses videos for you, so please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.